It, in fact, was going to take place. We were all very sure that one day, despite his legal troubles, despite the fact that he had these financial issues that we watched him deal with so publicly, we thought, Virginia, one day Michael Jackson would, in fact, reign supreme once again as the king of pop. And he never lost the title. I mean, that is one thing that we can say for absolute certain.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. I mean, despite his ups and downs and some of the legal battles that he's been through in his life, I mean, the fact remains that he was the biggest selling artist of all time and really made a huge impact on the pop world with Thriller and his music videos and all of that. I want to ask you, AJ, there have been rumors about his health, and I think for a lot of people, though, this situation that we're reporting on with him today is coming as a shock. I mean, yes, he's 50, and yes, he always seems sort of frail, and yet he also seemed to have energy. What can you add to that in terms of what we know about his health over the years?
Well, you hit it on the head that this comes completely out of left field. He has dealt with various health issues over the years. He has admitted, and this is going back some time now, to addictions to painkillers and antidepressants. And we've seen him, of course, deal with vitiligo and a form of lupus that he's had to sort of very publicly deal with, obviously. But in terms of recently, the best indication that we can get that it seemed like everything was okay with Michael was the fact that he had inked a deal for and was preparing for this massive concert series in London, originally set to be a 50-date residency at London's O2 Stadium. And we spoke back in May with the head of the company, AEG. That's the promoter who put this whole deal together with Michael Jackson. You would well imagine that if they're going to ink this multi-million dollar deal with Jackson, that they're going to check up on his health. It's standard operating procedure for any concert tour, let alone one of this magnitude. And there were rumors starting to float around back in, it was about May or earlier in the spring, that Michael was ailing. His health was not good, and that he was, in fact, dealing with cancer was one of the rumors that was floating around. So CNN spoke with the head of the company, and the head of AEG told us that, as a matter of fact, he is perfectly healthy, and that before they inked the deal with him, he had to go through a very strenuous physical exam, and before actually beginning the concerts that were scheduled to start originally in July, and then they got pushed back a bit, that he was going to have to undergo another physical exam. And we do know that he was reportedly working hard in Los Angeles with the choreography and getting the major components of this show together. And you know, a Michael Jackson show, particularly one where he was coming back to say, hey, I am still the king of pop, was going to be big, it was going to be bold, and it was going to be very Michael Jackson.
You know, AJ, can you help put in perspective for us? I mean, it's really stunning. It was just only about 6 hours ago that we learned Farrah Fawcett had passed away in a hospital after her courageous battle with cancer. And then to get this news about Michael Jackson on the same day.
Yeah, it's difficult to actually process it all. We've been working very hard on Showbiz Tonight all day long, preparing for our big show, a celebration of Farrah Fawcett's life tonight. And now this news, as we're just getting set to go to air ourselves, coming through, you know, 2 losses of this magnitude, really difficult to comprehend and, as I said, to process in a single day. And the loss of Michael Jackson, you know, this is something that a lot of people haven't given much thought to. We've certainly seen his difficulties. We may have seen him dealing with health issues. But, Virginia, I have to say Michael Jackson is one of these performers and pop culture icons who, despite the fact that he had gotten older, despite the fact that his appearance had so dramatically changed over the years, I have to say I think people would agree that we all still think of him and see him as someone who is young, because he always was the young Michael Jackson, even later in life.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's true. And also, is there going to be some sense that what the music world missed out on? I mean, he was certainly an immense talent and capable of a lot of creativity. Yeah. And with this, as you mentioned, this huge, the hope that this was going to be the big comeback with his concert tour, and now that it looks like it's not going to be, it could have been a whole new thing that he was going to bring the world.
Yeah, I think you'll have some critics out there who will say Michael Jackson's best work was behind him. How could you possibly top the best-selling album of all time in Thriller? His Dangerous album even was a massive success. But yeah, as I was saying earlier, we've all held out hope that at least